Hey, what is up, guys? Mr. Bear 38 here, and today I am bringing you my review of Obi Wan Kenobi Episode 3. So, we start off, and oh my god, what a way to start this episode. We have Obi Wan inside his cargo ship, once again trying to reach out to Qui Gon Jinn. Again, he keeps hearing the past and all of his mistakes within the scene, and then we flick over to Anakin being put, like the suit being put on him, and oh, this gave me shivers. The music was perfect, the suit was perfect, Anakin looked perfect, he looked amazing. And then after that, we move over to Reva talking to Darth Vader about Obi-Wan, and that he's at this location, and says, Darth Vader's like, I don't care about the Grand Inquisitor. If you want that seat, earn it. If you fail me, you'll never know what the title will hold. So, Vader, you fail Vader, Vader kills you. He does not care as long as he gets Obi-Wan. And Obi-Wan has fixed Lola for Princess Leia, and she asks for the Force. He refers to, like, when you're in the dark, what do you do? And she replies with, I turn the light on. And how do you feel when you turn the light on? I feel safe. And he's like, that's the Force. I found that a bit, whatever. Obi-Wan and Leia finally land down on the planet of course, which is controlled by the Empire. He starts talking about how there used to be farmers and land and family and everything here, but now it's a mining factory. And while Obi-Wan is walking with Leia, he starts having like his PTSD again and sees Anakin within the distance, like just of what Anakin used to be like in Revenge of the Sith, etc. Then we move back over to the Inquisitor's home base, which is in the middle of the ocean, which is awesome because it'd be the last place to look for an Inquisitor base is in the middle of an ocean planet, kind of like Kamino, like no one knew where the clones were ever created. And they're sending out probes to the mining system, and the fifth brother says to Reva, I'm not taking orders from you, blah, 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 blah. And then she says the orders are from Darth Vader. But in this, it's kind of annoying because they both want the seat of the Grand Inquisitor, so they both want to, like, suck off to who can please Vader better. We're back to Obi-Wan and Leia now, and they got to the area they were meant to meet up with someone, but they never arrived. Obi-Wan is talking to Leia, if anyone talks to us, we're farmers from Toll, and you don't speak. Then a transport shows up, she starts talking to the driver saying we're lost and they need to get off the planet. And the driver says hop in. As they're travelling down the road, Leia says how she loves the Empire, and the driver agrees, saying there's nothing wrong with a little bit of order. So that made me think, oh great, he's a part of the Empire, ha ha ha. Then he pulls up to the side of the road, picks up some stormtroopers, they hop in saying they've been relocated to find a Jedi, and one of them asks Obi-Wan for his story, and they give the same story as they gave the driver. Leia says, are you sure he's even here, like the Jedi? And everyone slips up and calls her Leia by mistake, saying they know what they're doing. And then the stormtrooper replies, you just called her Leia. And he said, as I said, times have been difficult. When I look at Leia, sometimes I see her mother. And then the troopers eventually leave, and then Leia has like looking at him with her like eyes like pure like, and she's like, my mother this whole time, I've known you, you've been lying to me, are you my real father? And he says, I wish I could say I was, but no, I'm not. And this part broke me a little bit because you know how the 6 movies go. Princess Leia never ever meets Anakin as Darth Vader, or just Anakin in general. This part surprised me though, as Obi-Wan starts talking about how he was taken as a child, and he remembers little parts of his family, like his mother, his father's hands, and he even remembers having a brother, which is, I was not expecting Obi-Wan to have a brother and all that kind of stuff. And then he talks about how the Jedi Order became his family, like how the Organas are Leia's family. Then we move on a little bit further. They're a stormtrooper check-in point. Obi-Wan says he wants to get off. He says, don't worry, I know these guys. It won't be long. Then the trooper asks, who are they? He said, you reckon you should check them out? They both get out of the truck. The stormtrooper says, Protocol 26. Sends out a probe droid. They want Obi-Wan to lift his head so he can scan him. He scans him. Obi-Wan just shoots the droid, kills every single stormtrooper, like, so fast. Shoots the guy on top of the thing. I gotta admit, I love that Disney's going back down the road of Revenge of the Sith with the decapitations and that of bodies, and the stormtrooper falls down the laser beam and just cuts in half. Then they go through the red beams, which I don't understand. They could have just walked around it, it was only for transport. They could have just easily walked around it. Then they get another transport shows up with stormtroopers and an Imperial officer in it, and Obi-Wan starts surrendering, and then the Imperial officer shoots all the stormtroopers in the back and says basically that was the person that was meant to meet up with them was her. And we're back to Reva again. She says the probes have made contact. I told you he was gonna be there. And then she says, I'm gonna go tell Vader. Then the fifth brother says he's already been informed. And she says, we'll see who's standing next to him then. So, it's just a fight for power if he wants to be the Grand Inquisitors or Vader's right-hand man. Then we move over to the city where Leia is talking about how she misses home and all this stuff. Then they bring them into the safe house and they're encountered by a loader droid. And Leia talks to her, but it can't respond. And she says, what if he wants to say something, because it's Leia. She's so nice. She's nice. I love her character in this TV series. Then they go to a hidden back room where Obi-Wan sees writing of Quinlan, who was within the Clone Wars. You only ever see him in the Clone Wars. He was also a good friend of Obi-Wan. She turns around and says that he helps us bring younglings, brings the younglings to safety and all that. So he's still helping her around in the rebellion and all that stuff. And then she spoke about how the Sith takes younglings and they never ever see them again. Then we get to a part where the stormtroopers came into the shop. They said they heard from civilians that they saw a Jedi come in here. They start looking around, find no trace. And I love the part how the droid was getting ready to knock him out with a hammer. That part was, bro, if I saw that part, I would have been so happy. Then Obi-Wan and the others are getting set to leave. Obi-Wan feels a disturbance in the Force, walks up to the door, sees the 3 Inquisitors, and then, God almighty, he shows up. Darth Vader. I have been so looking forward to seeing Darth Vader in this series. He starts walking down the street, slowly and intimidating and next minute he just stops, turns. You can just know he senses Obi-Wan. He, just grabs this old man out of the window, just starts force choking him, walking down the freaking street, trying to get Obi-Wan's attention, because Obi-Wan's compassionate. He doesn't like innocent people dying. And then the guy's son comes out, tries to save him. Vader just throws him against the wall and just snaps his neck. That's the end of it. I'm seeing Vader like this is terrifying. And then he starts dragging some lady up the street, trying to get Obi-Wan's attention, just dragging her through the dirt with the Force. And it's like, oh my God. It was just, And then we finally get to the part where Vader thinks he sees Obi-Wan in the corner. Obi-Wan's not there. Obi-Wan's running away. Vader finally comes face to face with him for the first time in 10 years. Knights his lightsaber, looks at Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan just stares at him, holding his lightsaber, turning it around, and then just runs. He's like, he just can't confront him because he's just too scared, because he always thought Anakin was dead. And then he runs off, and then you hear Anakin starts talking to Obi-Wan again, and instantly Obi-Wan ignites his lightsaber, freaking out, and he comes face to face with Vader again, and Obi-Wan says to him, "What have you become?" Vader replies, "I am what you made me." And I was like, that line was just nuts. I loved that line so much. And then Obi-Wan runs away again. I gotta admit, he was running away a lot, but I get it, PTSD and all that, and thinking he was dead for 10 years. Then the other Inquisitors are set to sweep the houses. Reva goes into the Lotus safe house, finds the back room, sees a Jedi symbol, and sees a one-way cave. Then we move back to Obi-Wan. He's still walking around trying to avoid Vader, but has no choices. Vader comes out swinging, so full of anger. They duel. Vader does the same thing as Luke does in Return of the Jedi, with the constant bashing against the saber, getting ready to cut off his hand if he could. And then he force pushes Obi-Wan to the ground. Obi-Wan gets up, runs away, cuts a thing to cause smoke, and runs away again. Then he's at a dead end. Obi-Wan's at a dead end. Vader comes up, force pulls some crystals down, then proceeds picking Obi-Wan up with the Force, holding him that tight, forcing him to drop his lightsaber. Darth Vader then bends down with his ignited lightsaber, lights up the crystals, and then says, "Now you will suffer, Obi-Wan," and then drags him through the fire, making him scream like how Anakin screamed on Mustafar, and then says, "Your pain has just begun," and then Force pushes him out of the fire, extinguishing the fire. Obi-Wan's there, just all burnt up the side of his body. Then he says to a stormtrooper, "Bring him to me." Then the person ends up leaving Leia in the cave, going to help Obi-Wan. She shoots the stormtrooper instantly, just kills him, snipes him out, and then shoots the explosive barrel, causing the fire to ignite once again. Stormtroopers are shooting through the fire, obviously missing, as they always do, as in the original trilogy. I'm not sure why Darth Vader didn't just put out the fire with his Force again. Maybe he's just toying with Obi-Wan, which I believe he is. He's just toying with him. The loader droid ends up saving Obi-Wan, taking him away, and then Leia finally reaches the end of the tunnel, and Reva was there waiting for her. That's just how it ends. She ends up running away from Reva, but I'm assuming Reva catches her maybe, and then that's it. The episode ends. That episode was the best out of the series so far. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. I do believe Vader should have just put the fire out, but yeah, that's all, guys. But I shall see you in the next one. Until then, peace.